Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to break down one of the most important chapters for your exams, surface areas and volumes. You know that feeling when you're just drowning in formulas? Well, by the end of this, you won't just get them, you'll actually know how to use them. Let's dive right in. So, here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the big picture, area versus volume. Then, we'll build up our skills with the basic shapes. Cubes, cylinders, the usual suspects. And then, the fun part. You'll get to test your knowledge with a bunch of practice problems. Sound good? Let's do this.
All right, first things first, let's get a handle on the most fundamental idea in this whole chapter. What is the actual difference between surface area and volume? I promise, if you nail this concept, everything else is going to fall right into place. Let me ask you a really simple question to get us started. What's the difference between wrapping a gift and filling that same gift box? I mean, one is all about covering the outside, right? And the other is about how much stuff you can cram inside. That idea, right there, is the heart of this entire chapter.
Okay, so here it is. Surface area is the wrapper. It's all about the outside skin of an object. Think about it. The amount of wrapping paper you need for that gift, that's its surface area. Now, volume, that's the filler. It's the actual space inside the object. How much candy can you fit in the box? That's the volume. So just remember, wrapper versus filler. It's that simple.
So now that we've got the whole wrapper versus filler thing down, let's start using it. We're going to begin with our first set of shapes, the good old cube and cuboid. Honestly, these are the foundational building blocks for pretty much everything else.
First up, the cube. Super simple, right? It's just 6 identical squares stuck together. Now, for its surface area, we have 2 ways of looking at it. The lateral surface area, that's just the 4 walls, not the ceiling or the floor. So that's 4 times the area of one face, or 4a squared. But the total surface area, that's the whole shebang, top and bottom included, which gives us 6a squared. And the volume, the filler, is just the side length multiplied by itself 3 times, a cubed.
Okay, let's see this in action. Say we've got a cube with a side of 5 centimeters. For the total surface area, we just pop that 5 into our formula, 6a squared. That gives us 6 times 25, which is 150 square centimeters. For the volume, it's 5 cubed. So 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125 cubic centimeters. And hey, notice the units. Square centimeters for area, because it's flat, and cubic centimeters for volume, because it's 3D space. That's a super important detail.
And next up is the cuboid, which is basically the cube's less perfect cousin. Think of a shoebox or a brick. It's got a length, a breadth, and a height. The formulas look a little more intense, but the logic's the same. Lateral surface area is the 4 walls, total surface area adds the top and bottom, and the volume is just all 3 dimensions multiplied together. Length times breadth times height.
Here's a perfect real-world problem. You need to paint a room. How much paint do you need? Well, you need the area of the 4 walls, right? That's just the LSA. We plug in the numbers, and bam, we get 108 square meters. And how much air is in the room? That's the volume. 10 times 8 times 3 gives us 240 cubic meters. See? This stuff is actually useful. Okay, we've totally mastered the flat, boxy shapes. Now let's start rolling with it and take a look at things with curves. I'm talking about cylinders and cones. The best way to think of a cylinder is just a can of soup. The curved surface area is the label. If you were to carefully peel it off and lay it flat, you just have a rectangle. The total surface area then is that label plus the 2 circular lids on the top and bottom. And the volume? Super intuitive. You just take the area of the bottom circle, which is pi r squared, and you stretch it upwards by the height h.
And now for the cone, like a party hat or an ice cream cone. The big new idea here is something called the slant height, which we label L. It's not the straight-up height, it's the diagonal distance from the pointy tip down the side. And look, you can find it using the Pythagorean theorem. It just forms a right triangle. Once you have L, the rest of the surface area formulas are pretty easy. Oh, and the volume? Here's a mind-blowing fact. It's exactly 1/3 the volume of a cylinder with the same base and height. That's a really cool relationship you gotta remember.
We are cruising right along. Let's get to our final set of shapes. The perfectly round sphere and its other half, the hemisphere.
Okay, for a sphere, like a basketball, the surface area is just 4 pi r squared. Simple enough. But here's where it gets tricky. What happens when you slice it in half to get a hemisphere? Well, the curved part is now half the original, so that's 2 pi r squared. But by slicing it, you've created a brand new flat circle on top, right? The area of that circle is pi r squared.
So for the total surface area of the hemisphere, you need to add them together, the curved part plus the flat part, which gives you 3 pi r squared. The volume, though, is easy. It's just half the sphere's volume.
All right, you've listened to me talk for long enough. Theory's great, but the only way you're really going to get this stuff is to do it yourself. It is now your turn. We've got 3 rounds of problems coming up, easy, medium, and hard. I really want you to pause the video for each set and give them a real try before moving on. This is where the magic happens, I promise. You ready to see what you've learned?
Let's start with a nice warm-up. These are all direct plug-and-play questions using the formulas we just went over. Go ahead, hit pause, take 5 minutes or so, and see how you do.
Feeling pretty good? Awesome. Let's ramp it up a bit. These medium questions require a little more thinking. You might have to work backwards or do a couple of calculations to get to the answer. Go ahead and pause here. Maybe take about 10 or 15 minutes for these. You got this. And now, for the main event, the challenge round. These are the kinds of questions that really separate the students who know the formulas from the students who understand them. They combine shapes, they use real-world applications. Yeah, they're tough, but this is how you really build that deep understanding. Take a deep breath, read them carefully, and give it your absolute best shot.
Phew. You made it through all those problems. That is fantastic work. You've covered so much today. So now, let's pull it all together onto one slide that you are definitely going to want to save for exam time.
And there it is, your secret weapon, the master key to this entire chapter. This table has every single formula we talked about today. Go ahead, take a screenshot of this right now. It is your ultimate cheat sheet for revision. But let me say one thing, don't just memorize it. Try to remember the logic behind each one, and I swear you'll be unstoppable. Before we go, I want to leave you with this quote. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Getting good at this isn't about one crazy all-night study session. It's about doing one problem today, maybe 2 tomorrow, and just keeping at it. That consistent effort is what leads to success. Thanks so much for joining me today. Keep practicing, and I'll catch you in the next one.